Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week. We are very happy to welcome you to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. Speak of Africa is your show. We told you we started this show because we wanted to give you a voice. And we think we've succeeded in that regard. But before we begin, as usual, we want to say special thank you to all our subscribers. Continue subscribing and continue sharing this show with your friends and ask them to subscribe. In addition, we want to say special thank you to all our viewers. If this is the first time you're watching our show, we're asking you to click that button and subscribe because you do not want to miss any future edition of this show. This show is a revolution. It's a voice for the people of African descent and the people who are in Africa. We want you to start thinking about self-determination. We want to change your life for the better. There is a whole lot of dictatorship going on in Africa today, and the purpose of this show is to draw attention to this dictatorship, then look for positive solutions to the problems. And the show of today especially, we want to focus on neocolonialism, as we always do. In the past, we've tended to spend too much time on France. But this time, as much as we want to talk about France, but we're going to focus attention on Britain, the country they call Great Britain, the United Kingdom, the empire on which the sun never sets. But when they lost India, the sun set for the British Empire. Even with that disappointment, the British continue struggling to steal and pillage the resources of Africa. In this show of today, we're going to present the dirty work of the British, and we're going to show you the way they have been working hand in gloves with the criminal and cruel regime of Paul Biya. They get contracts for over 200 million pounds, then they train Biya's forces so that they can torture and kill innocent civilians. You would think that this is a country that says they pride themselves as the birthplace of democracy in the modern world. We understand democracy started from Greece. But the British have all this hypocrisy. They present themselves as really nice people. But the British government is not nice. They are pragmatic. They look for their interests, which is what we want our fellow Africans to understand. Do not think the high-flown rhetoric these guys put out there means anything. It means nothing. Because the guys may say one thing and they do another. They may talk about liberty, freedom, but they don't practice it when they get to Africa. When they get to Africa, they treat Africans like second-class citizens. And that's what the show of today is about. We continue harping on the same theme, but we present a variation on that same theme. For the show of today, we also want to thank our customers. We have a whole lot of customers, and we're getting more and more customers. It is tax time in the United States of America. One of our businesses is income tax preparation and accounting. We have a lot of clients, we have a lot of customers, but we are telling you to send more customers to us because we have a big empire in business and want to continue building on this empire. And we're bringing more people to get involved in our business. So if you have anybody who has tax problems, accounting problems, bring them to us. We'll be able to help solve those problems. And we have a very stellar track record. If you have people who have computer issues, problems, we also have software which we've developed and we're selling to medical doctors and nurse practitioners so that they can use it to help their patients. We are also sponsoring a medical conference. The date of this conference is February 26th. So we're telling you, share this information with all your friends. We want a lot of Africans to attend this virtual conference. Geography is not a barrier because you can attend this conference from any part of the world. Whether you are in the United States, Canada, Africa, it's easy for you to attend our virtual conference. So if you don't have the information, contact us. We'll send you the link so that you can take advantage of this. Next, we're going to move now to our book review. We've told you that every week we want to share a book with you. because we realize that a lot of Africans don't read. And if you don't read, you're just like a blind person. You're almost dead. If you read, then you can learn how to think, because you've been able to gather a lot of information. You'll be able to understand the way the world works. For the show of today, we are going to share a book with you which is really dear to a lot of people from the southern Cameroons. The title of this book is Paradise Lost? The book is written by Mfo Ngala Mfo. Mfo Ngala Mfo is a freedom fighter. As we speak, he is languishing in the dungeon of La République du Cameroun. He wrote this book, which really details a history of the southern Cameroons from 1916 to 1972. Of course, when you look at 1916, this is the period around pre-independence, around the First World War. Then by 1972, that's when La République engulfed southern Cameroons. I myself, I remember 72, it's a seminary year, because that was the year I went to Yaoundé and continued my primary school education. Amadou Ahidjo was the president, a stooge of the French, so I remember very, very well. When you read this book, it lays out why the people of the southern Cameroons are fighting today, why there is this quest for self-determination, why the people do not want to remain second-class citizens in La République du Cameroun. So just like John Milton's Paradise Lost, those who are familiar with literature, John Milton is probably one of the greatest poets in the English language. He wrote Paradise Lost when he was blind, and it was a great book because he wrote Paradise Lost to justify the ways of God to men. Similarly, Mfo Ngala Mfo wrote this book to really make Africans understand their history. Particularly, those who are of southern Cameroon extraction should be able to make sense of the history. The history should not be whitewashed. So he presents the history in context. It justifies why the people of southern Cameroon feel like they have lost Eden. The southern Cameroons is like Eden, the Garden of Eden. You remember the fall of man. God put man in the Garden of Eden, but the snake, the serpent, tricked him, and he lost the Garden of Eden. And that's why we are suffering today. Similarly, Mfo Ngala Mfo uses the metaphor of the Garden of Eden to present the plight of southern Cameroonians. And when you look at this book, it really tells you why it's like a comet gone too soon. The people of southern Cameroon had it all. God gave them a place, a land with a lot of resources. They had their own democracy. In fact, they had a lot of change of governments, starting with Ndeli. You had John Gufoncha, you had Estimura and Enjua, all those guys. So there was transition, peaceful transition, not like what obtains in La République where there's no transition, just a dictatorship. So when the people of southern Cameroon look back today, they look back in anger. They cannot really imagine that they have lost the Garden of Eden. Most of the time, people lose the Garden of Eden because of a fatal flaw in their character. In the case of Adam and Eve, the serpent deceived them and they lost the Garden of Eden. But in the case of southern Cameroonians, they did not commit any error. It's because of brutal dictatorship and the machinations of Britain and France. These two parties connive to steal the resources of southern Cameroon from our people. And this is why the people are fighting today. There is a lot of action in Ambaland as we speak today. When you ask me what is really happening, a whole lot. Even the AFCON, the African football contest, it's not really been well. People were thinking that, oh, it's going to be a lot of fanfare, but the Amba action has put this fanfare to a complete halt. There's not much happening. With all the militarization that Mr. Paul Biya has put together, the human spirit is indomitable, and the guys are still fighting and puncturing this military infrastructure. You can see a whole lot of action on the ground. In fact, when you look at what the Amba Restoration Forces are doing this week, we have a whole lot of pictures to share with you. Some of them are so terrible that we're not even comfortable showing. because it looks like La République is ruled by people who have lost all their senses. You can see the way some of those Amba restoration fighters are really taking the fight to the enemy. They are very determined. They have limited resources, but they are still fighting and stealing weapons from these guys. But one video which really made it to us this day is a video of a guy showing you the way he lives in the bush as a soldier. He covers himself. He makes sure that he's dressed in black. He has his little bag, so he's always on the move. So he doesn't sit in the city, because it's a mistake to be a restoration force and you live in the city. Guerrillas do not live in the town. They live in the bushes, which is what makes things difficult for La République army. When they come, they target innocent civilians, they kill them, then they claim they are killing Amba boys. For a minute, I want to share this video of this fighter who is dressed in black, talking about his experience in the forest. Take a minute and watch it.
I am an Ambazonia soldier, fighting to free my country, the Ambazonia. As a soldier, this is how I spend my night. I don't spend my night in a building. I spend my night in a bush, so that my enemy will not easily locate me. As a soldier, do not spend your night in a building, because it will be very easy for the enemy to surround and capture you. As a soldier, this is how I dress before sleeping. I don't put on anything flashy. I put on dark things before sleeping, so that my enemy will not easily locate me. This is what I use to cover myself with in the night. As you can see, it is something dark. I don't use anything that has color to cover myself with, so that I will not be easily located by my enemy from a distance. As a soldier, I sleep very ready to move. Should in case anything happen, I can move to any direction. As a soldier, this is how I sleep, well prepared. This is my bag. As you can see, in this bag, my bread is inside, my water is inside, my Beretta gun is inside. I can move, I can drink, I can fight.
Thank you for watching the video of this fighter. But you can see other videos too. In fact, today we also received news of the loss of an Amba general. You can even see the picture of General Ebube. I think they are really celebrating his life, because he gave his life fighting for Ambazonia. He wants Ambazonia to be free. So he dies as a martyr of freedom. Every revolution, as you're going to see, we have another video which we want to share with you. This video is from Martin Luther King Jr., a freedom fighter who lived and died in the United States. He tells you the cost of freedom is not cheap. Freedom is really expensive. Today, some of us are living in the United States who are enjoying the freedom. But a lot of people died. They fought and died for the freedom that we're enjoying today. As we are talking to you, a lot of Americans paid with their life, and they are fighting for freedom overseas. So we want to salute all the freedom fighters in Ambazonia. Those who are in Kondengi, they are all prisoners of conscience. And we want to say we salute them, and we give our hearts to them. We thank them for their sacrifices, and we tell them they will not die in vain. They will die as martyrs of freedom. Their names will be enshrined in the chambers of freedom, because they died fighting for an ideal which is worth fighting for. You are a human being if you believe in something. When you die fighting for what you believe, then you've died a noble death. But if you die like an animal who believes in nothing, then your death would be useless.
Ayo ya yong ye ja ka du ya woni ji aya yong be adin ben ja fa ga yin be sa fa woni ngam fu Ana lo yong be ki wa jinja lo Dubai wa dak bashi ka ba ko yu. Insha ti wi de be light in women song ko yan mati aki women song. La de ma yong ayeji sigan. Chesun la ferwi romo u replace e bobe. Bi ko fe be yuri be ya pa ke bi eji. The say we be na yo bend we krimo yong ke yung ke ajing because I we mo na me na pa yero e sa kera ne.
Next, we want to show you, because some of you guys now are sending us a lot of videos. We are in Washington, D.C., the capital of the brave and free world. But people may be asking, how do you know whatever is happening in this part of the world, in Africa and in Ambazonia in particular? It's because you guys send us all the information. Every day we receive a lot of information from the ground. You guys are sending this to us free of charge. We're not even paying you. You send us this information. I can share another video which you guys sent to us. It was showing the activities of the ADF. We've received a whole lot of comments and criticism on this show. The people on the ground, it looks like Ambazonia is divided more like into 4 camps. And each time they watch our news, they want us to sway to one direction or another. Some people are supporting Sissoco Ayoktabe, others are supporting Sako Ikomi, others are supporting Ayabacho. Then you have a 4th camp, which doesn't belong to any of the above. So whenever we share information on this show, they wish we can doctor this information to fit the way maybe Sissoco Ayoktabe will want the news to be. Others will want us to frame it to suit the way Sako Ikomi will like it. Still, others will want it to frame it to suit the way Ayabacho would want it to be. But we are a free agent. We are the voice of the people. Our goal is to share the plight of the Ambazonian so that the world can know about your predicament. We don't come here to share or to be a lackey of any leader. We are too big for that. We are too rich. They cannot even buy us. Okay? We don't really need money. Okay? So none of these leaders can buy us. So just understand that. We make a living in the United States. We are not like some of those leaders who don't have jobs. We have jobs. We have businesses that we are running. So just understand that we are not doing this because we want a dollar here or there. No. We have things that we are doing, but we believe that our people should live a better life. That's why we are doing this. So we are not people who need handouts. We don't look that way. And probably if you think we need handouts, please think again. People always say, oh, those in America, they are not doing anything. That's a lie. We're in America, we're doing something. We're doing this fight because we believe in the freedom of our homeland, and we believe our people should live in dignity. So we're not here to be puppets of Sissoco, Sako, Ayabacho, or any other person. So when we share information, please know that we're a news channel for the people. If you have information that can really help the struggle, share it with us. So we cannot really take sides because we don't want to be anybody's puppet, and we will never be. Because we have the money, we finance our show ourselves. We don't ask any leader to finance us, okay? And we'll continue financing this show. So do not contact us and say, oh, support Ayabacho, support Sissoco. No, we don't need anybody to tell us to support any party. We want to support the cause of Ambazonia. We want our people to be free. Just like we told you, know your history. Read the book by Mfongala and you see what is happening. So now with Ambazonia, we want to remind you that let's take a moment to condole with General Ebube's family. He was a good general. He lost his life fighting for the Ambazonian ideal. Next, we're going to move from Ambazonia now to La République du Cameroun. When we look at La République du Cameroun, what is happening, much of it is like things fall apart. They are conniving with Britain to really keep the people in check, but things are not easy. And Ainsi came out, we read it, we look at the documentary on UK Declassified. It really shows that the Cameroon Cruel Republic is ruled by just 5 guys. You have Paul Biya at the top, you have Eko in charge of DGRE, you have Betty Asomo in charge of the military, then you have Colonel Ndongo in charge of B. Then, of course, you have Biya at the top of the pyramid. So these are the main guys who are really running the country. So somebody like Beti Asomo, he tells Biya what he wants to hear, that the militarization strategy is going to win in the end. We know that's false, because what is happening now on the ground is tit for tat. You do me, I do you, as they say in Pidgin. Whenever you do something to me, I retaliate. And that's basically what is happening. They will kill General Ebube today. Tomorrow, his people are also going to retaliate. So it's just like tit for tat. That's what is really happening. The former U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Tibor Nagy, said the same thing. Mr. Biya needs to start thinking about a ceasefire because there's too much bloodshed on the ground. We can even show you, there's a video that we don't even want to show you because the Amba guys killed a Biya general and they cut his neck. And one of the guys held his head in his hand. So it's so gory, we don't want to show this on television. But this is what is really happening on the ground. We have all these images. We can share them with you on WhatsApp if you want to. So these are the type of images that we don't like. Even La République, you can see now that the noise that we're making about AFCON, the African football competition, is not really working because a whole lot of deaths happened in the stadium because of a stampede. Over 8 people lost their lives, and we understand CAN has stopped the match being played in Olembe Stadium of Paul Biya. So now you can see a whole lot of the images of the stampede. A lot of people were killed because they were rushing, trying to get into the stadium. The government has provided a thought the military will be able to solve every problem. But the military could not really contain such a big mass of people. And it's really sad. Next, we're going to leave La République. You see, there's even a story we broke last week. We told you about a fire that engulfed Live nightclub. This week, we have a lot more images showing what happened in this fire. A lot of people got burned, and there were even important personalities in La République who were in that nightclub having fun. Then you even see a bunch of women having fun. It was the last fun they were having for their lives, and they all died. So this was really sad. The next will take you to Burkina Faso. We had predicted that a coup d'etat was going to take place in Burkina Faso, and it did. There are more coup d'etats coming. And when you look at what happened in Burkina Faso, you saw the pictures, the military decided to take over. But as they were taking over, we were already preparing you for this story because we could see it coming. Mark Rich Kabore could not see it coming. He was just hearing that a coup d'etat may happen, but he didn't know how it's going to happen. We saw it coming, but Mark Christian Kabore did not know where it was going to come. And it came, and we don't even have the time to go into the details, the way the coup d'etat was hatched. But if you want, you can ask us. We'll share this information with you. Finally, Mark Christian Kabore is out of power. The military has taken over, just like they did in Chad, Mali, Guinea. So more coup d'etats are going to happen. Even when we look at what is happening in La République of Cameroon, it's fertile ground now for a coup. The Paul Biya regime is thinking that they have made it impossible for any coup to happen. That's not true. But the way we're seeing it, the coup in Cameroon, La République of Cameroon, is going to be very, very bloody. Very, very bloody. So we're really feeling sorry for people in this part of the world. It's going to happen. It's going to be very, very bloody. So think twice. Those who are in Yaoundé, think twice, because when it happens, a lot of people are going to die because the Betis are going to be fighting with themselves first, then the other people will join. But like in Burkina Faso, this one was a bloodless coup, and we really thank God that people were not killed. But you can see that the ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, did what they normally do. They sanctioned the country because of the coup. This is a wrong move. Sanctions are not going to stop people from conducting coup d'etats when the people know that the population is supporting this coup. And this is what happened in Burkina Faso. The people wanted a change. The leader could not really solve the security crisis impacting the country. So the people really wanted a change, and they got the change that they were looking for. Is the military junta going to be successful? We don't know. And we just want to give them credit for doing what the people wanted them to do, solve their problem. You know, Burkina Faso has gone through a lot. It's like the ghost of Sankara is haunting people in this part of the world. Since Sankara was killed by Blaise Compaoré, Burkina Faso has not known any peace. They've just been having one security challenge after another. And it looks like the time for France is up, and the people don't really want France. So the handwriting is on the wall. The people want France to leave, so they have to leave Burkina Faso. Similarly, we've been talking about Mali. There's a whole lot of new developments in Mali. They are really kicking the French out completely. So the French are told to leave. Mali is shredding all the military accords they had signed with the French. So the Russians are moving in. So the French are just crying foul. So you can see now that France is losing more and more former colonies. They had lost Rwanda. They're going to lose Mali, Guinea. So France doesn't really have a way to stay in this part of the world. They are struggling to stay, but so many things are happening. The people don't want them to stay, and the people want to kick them out. So it's really sad when you look at what is happening to France. But are they learning any lesson from this? No. The people are parasites. The French are a very parasitic people. Without Africa, they feel they cannot survive. But when they see Africans, they treat Africans with disrespect. If you think without Africa you cannot survive, why not show respect for Africans? Africans come to France and you guys describe them as immigrant people who are unwanted. But you go to their countries and steal all their resources. Yet you call them a bad name. Okay? So the Africans are your dog. Shit France. France is just a shithole country. And we know they're going to go down because more and more Africans are waking up. They're seeing the handwriting on the wall. And we're just telling you, it's just a matter of time. France will get off Africa. Continue fighting. Next, we're going to leave Mali and we'll go now to Nigeria.
Is the COVID-19 crisis sweeping and stressing you out? Are you looking for smart answers, latest information from health experts, newest tips from doctors? Here's Dr. Wilma Hunt-Watts, the super tech doctor, the keynote speaker of the Alexia Corporation's Telehealth Telemedicine Virtual Conference, a free event scheduled on February 26, 2022. Interested? Then come for networking opportunities, giveaway freebies, special offers, Q&A sessions, learning and business guides, free videos and transcripts. Don't ignore COVID-19. Don't make the worst mistake others are making. Plan to attend the virtual medical conference. Discover Alexia HTC, America's newest EMR/EHR application, shaking things up in the telehealth, telemedicine space.
In Nigeria, there's a whole lot of security challenges, and we read about some security challenges around the Murtala Mohammed Airport, okay? So can they really contain and secure this airport? That's a security challenge for the Buhari regime, which doesn't really know what to do with the issue of insecurity. But at the same time, you're seeing a lot of politicians jockeying for power because they're already looking at the presidential election in 2023. So everybody is just playing games to position themselves. You can see our Vice President Osinbajo, Bola Tinubu, Saraki, Atiku, they are all jockeying for positions. And the one that really makes us laugh is Dele Momodu. Dele Momodu is a clown that most of the youth of Nigeria tell me is a clown. He too is saying he wants to run for president. But does he have the substance? In fact, remember a girl who was writing for Abiola's Concord. He used to make fun of Dele Momodu. He said the guy could not write. He could only take pictures. So he could not even write an article. So how can you get somebody like this to become a president of Nigeria if you cannot even write an article in a newspaper? So it's a shame. We just are telling Nigerians to do a better job of selecting a leader in 2023. If they can do this, then they will be able to set their country on a positive path. We thank you very much for watching the show of today. But remember to subscribe. Don't forget about the conference on February 26, 2022. Bye-bye. May God bless you.
Hey, yo, Shape, I thought you was going to take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy's shape. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on mumps, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com. Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.